Day 12. Bear with me, this might be a bit of a longer video. There is something just personal that I've been wanting to share. Long before even the videos, I was thinking of putting it in a blog, but I wanted to make sure it was done in the right way. It was done productively, and that it was done with hope. These 3 weeks are designed to help me let go of what I'm not supposed to carry. To bring into light what is in the dark trying to thrive. And releasing this, I truly believe, is what will help me get off the ground. So I'm just going to talk on one topic of body acceptance, which will tie into something more personal. It is no shock that I struggle with accepting this body. You do not need to have an eating disorder to face that challenge. I know plenty of people who do not have issues with food, who still cannot accept their body, who still speak words of hate to it and compare it to people in the magazine who, by the way, they don't even look like the people in the magazine. So we'd all look good with a little airbrushing. But it is people with eating disorders who just take that need to change to the extreme. And the problem is that what they're trying to change does not even exist. Their self-perception gets so warped that they are fixating on what is not real. And they are seeing what needs to be fixed that is not even an issue. That actually probably has to go in the other direction. And it is a process to learn to accept yourself. And I'm not saying you have to love your body. I don't know if I'll ever sit there and be like, I love this. But I want to get to a place where I accept it. And to me that means showing it grace. That no matter what changes it goes through, which inevitably it will, time does that, life does that I will stand by it. That I will not speak words of hate onto it. That I will support it and I will care for it no matter what seasons of life it goes through. But it brings me to a question I often ask myself. And it brings me into something very personal. How do you accept parts of yourself that were made by the choices of who you no longer are? And how do you accept the flaws you don't like that are there because of your pain? How do you accept the parts of yourself that are signs of when you stumbled and are remnants of the disorder, or results of decisions or choices you made that were not helpful, that were birthed out of needing a release? I have not told many people this. Since I was 15, I have struggled with self-harm. It was my go-to. When the disorder was taken away, or when it was not doing its job like it once did, cutting was my backup. To me, the best way I know how to put it is that cutting was a way to create an opening for the emotions to be released. It was turning unbearable internal pain into somewhat bearable external pain. It was trying to make visible the hurt and the struggle and the pain I was feeling inside, so that it was made real. That it wasn't just something that maybe people thought I was making up. That the pain I was feeling was actually real. It was never a cry for attention, because I always hid it. I never told anybody I was doing it. If anybody found out, it was because somehow it slipped, that somehow they saw it. When I fell back into the disorder from November to May, I did not tell all but one person that I also dove headfirst into cutting again. And it got pretty bad. It is very hard for me to look at the scars on my arm and accept that. Because it doesn't even feel like me. And that's the real struggle, is how do you accept what you're not even sure was you or is you? I feel like I was like Frankenstein's monster right now, and that somebody sewed somebody else's arm on me. I'm just so far removed now from that person and her choices that I look at that arm and I see the scars, and I don't know what to do with them. I hate that they exist. And you always get told, people always say, well, your scars are your battle wounds. They show that you survived. They're signs of a survivor. I've been told that. I've read it. But I'm going to be completely honest here. In times when I don't want those scars to exist, those words mean nothing. Those words do nothing. They seem empty. They seem like an excuse to me to back the decisions I made. I'm not proud of those scars. I'm gonna be honest. I don't look at them and think, oh, I survived that. I just look at them and see the pain. And I feel that hurting girl. And I think of how lost and how struggling and how tormented I was. I see this girl who was so afraid to let people in and to give it the control, who was silencing herself, who was trying to use her body to speak and to scream. It is going to be a long process to not look at my scars and wish them away, to just accept that they are there. I right now don't have a solution to that. And I so wish I did. I so wish I could make this video and let people know that this is what you do. That this is how you overcome it. But right now, I do not yet have that. I am hoping that by the end of all this, maybe God will reveal it to me. But just know that just because you don't accept them does not mean that you still have to act on it. Don't use the pain of them as an excuse to go back. And don't see the struggle of not being able to accept them now as a promise that you never will. Because I do believe it is possible. I do believe it can be done. It just takes time, and it takes healing, and it takes a lot of letting go. And for me, a lot of forgiveness. Forgiving the girl who put those marks on that arm. Forgiving her for not knowing how to express her pain properly. If you are watching this and you are struggling with self-harm, I just want to tell you that you are worth so much more. That does not have to be your path. That does not have to be your voice. That does not have to be your way out. Speak. Feel. Don't try to hide the pain and keep it just for you. Share it and let people in. So, I had no idea where that video would go after I spoke on it. But I just want to give some hope. That even though it's not happening now, even though I still have to look at the remnants of that time, of my choices, that those scars are no longer multiplying. That at least now I'm dealing with them as what they were, as what was, and not bringing that pain back into the present. So I can deal with the scars. Because I know there are no more to come. So I will learn to somehow accept the ones that are there. And just learn to accept that they are part of the story. But many chapters ago. So I thank you for just letting me be open and letting me be honest. It's always taking a huge leap to trust people with this story, and to trust that all of you will respect it and honor it and care for it. But I truly believe you do. And I'm hoping that one day you will get a video on how to accept the parts of yourself that are results of who you once were. So, for now, this is it. But I thank you, and we'll see what tomorrow holds.